Okay. So we're learning Torah Zayin, Likutei Moharan Torah Zayin. So after we have explained that the main golos, the reason for the golos, is lack of emunah, and when the emunah will be rectified, the geula will come. And how do you get to emunah? You get through emes, right?
Yep.
And how do you get to emes? By the aces of the tzaddikim, right? Listen to the aces of the tzaddikim. Now, in Sif Daled, I'm sorry, the Rebbe is going to explain what gives a person koyach to stay away from aces of Rishayim and to choose dafka, the aces of tzaddikim. This is what we're going to learn now. V'da shal the mitzvah tzitzis, through the mitzvah of tzitzis, ha'odam mitzvah me'etzes ha'nachash. A person saves himself. The mitzvah of tzitzis has a propensity of making a person less susceptible to the advice, to the counsel of the nachash. Misoyim shel rasha, from a marriage, of the wicked, the b'china sniuf, from indiscretion and infidelity. Because when a person accepts eitzes from a wicked person, that this is like marriage with him. This is Sif Daled, Torah Zayin Sif Daled. This is like you married him. And this is a marriage with a rasha is niuf, is adultery. Because instead of connecting the kedusha, which is real marriage, a person is connected with the klipa Shem Yirachem. And the reason why, so this is the reason why tzitzis saves a person from that. Tzitzis shmir l'niuf. Tzitzis in and on itself is a shmira. It raises your odds to be saved from niuf. People don't understand that many times, in order to be saved from Averis or problems in Shlom Bayis or all these kind of things, you don't need to change everything. You don't have to get into a tank, to save yourself from the errors of life. Many times the only thing which is needed is just a little bit, a change of dynamics, a little bit of something in your favor, that tips the scale, that makes things possible. Because the Medrash the Gemara is very, very precise when he says, B'chol yom yitzra shel odom isgaber olam. Every single day, the yitzra of an odom overcomes him. This is misgaber, which means he's stronger than you. Okay? And what about the Gemara says, Ilmalei HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ozra. If it wasn't the Kadosh Baruch Hu helping him, Lo Yochel, then you couldn't have taken it. Which means, you're talking about a hairline balance over here. There's no way you can take it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu helps you, but in the very Lashon itself, Ilmalei HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ozra, the Gemara doesn't say, but the Kadosh Baruch Hu Ozra, so you win it. That's not what the Gemara says. It says if it wasn't the Kadosh Baruch Hu helping you, you couldn't possibly win it. Which means you may put on tzitzis and you still have this tightness, you still have this bilbulim, whatever it is. And if you understand, how does it help me? I don't feel it helping me. I still have all these bilbulim. No. The point is, the tzitzis, Kadosh Baruch Hu Ozra, if it wasn't for the tzitzis, you had no chance. You're dead meat. You're a cooked goose. Finished. Kaputskaya. No chance. Huh? No, it's worse. Kaputski is with still a little chance. Kaputskaya means finir. Squeeze neck, neshama, out. Finir. Okay. I'm sorry.
Getting carried away.
That's from the blooper reel. Sorry. have to prepare to be able to.
No, this is. I just said your jokes are just in my.
Because of poor. Now I get it. I'm sorry. All right. In other words, it's also shmir, so the person will not mamash falter in mamash niyuv. But it's also a shmira that pushes a person away from the essence of Rishon, which in themselves are a form of niyuv, in order to mekabel essence tzaddikim, to receive tzaddik. I actually saw, an Israeli journalist that says that the fight against Hisbolah's assimilation is racism. Talk about Zakat Gozal and Igzal. There's a story that a Cossack comes and robs a Jew. So he screams and says, "Thief!" So the Cossack sued him in court. He embarrassed me. This is the scream of the robbed Cossack. You embarrassed me. You cannot fight rape. Because it's racism. Okay, so who says the racism is wrong? But the whole this is Eitzes Rishayim. That even hearing it is already puts niyuf. Shem Yerachem. It's Shem Yerachem. Shem Yerachem. And to get Eitzes Tzaddik. And he said in the Tikkunim, in Tikkun 18, on the pasuk says about Noach that drank the wine, and he got inebriated, and he lay down and he became exposed. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw it and faulted in the chet. And afterwards he told his two brothers that their father is exposed, right? So you have over here, a major breach in the chayma of sanctity that happened because of that. So what did they do? What did Shem and Yefet do? Vayikach Shem v'Yefet zasimlo v'yasim al Shechem shnehem. And Shem and Yefet took the simla, which is the talis, which is the cover, this is the tikkun, this is tzitzis, which is from the Yuf, and they put on each other's shoulders, and they went back and they covered up their father. They covered up their father, and their face were backwards, and they didn't see, their father's nakedness. That's what the Torah tells us. And the Tikkunim says the simla, the garment that we're talking about, the toga that we're talking about there, zeh b'chinas tzitzis. This is the tzitzis. That simla is tzitzis that they put on the shechem. In other words, on the shoulders. That's the tzitzis that you wear on your shoulders. And what's the result? And the exposure of their father they did not see. And what is the Tikkunim says? And what is alluded to in this particular mahalach? The tzitzis covers indiscretion, sexual indiscretion. It covers the arayos. And it saves from that. This is what saved Shem and Yefes from sinning. Aval Cham that faltered, that fell in the chet, Cham is a representation of Yetzer Hara. Cham alludes to Yetzer Hara. Why? Why is Cham a symbol of Yetzer Hara? Because Cham is hot. He heats up a person. He works up a person. It warms up. It heats up the person it fires up the body of a person in the virus. He is cursed. As it is said, Moshe Kosev, that Noach cursed Canaan, the son of Canaan. It says, Canaan, cursed be Canaan. He's a slave of slaves, he will be to his brothers. And this is what is said also about the Yetzer Hara. As it is said about the Nachash, the tempted Chava, which is Yetzer Hara, you are cursed from all the animals, for all the living things. So you see that Cham is also from Bechina of Yetzer. They are both called or, they're both called cursed. Vasimlo and the garment, Hainu Tzitzis, Ushmira Meitzes Anachash. This is a bulwark against the Eitzah of the Nachash, from the Eitzahs of Rishon, from the filth of the snake, from one side from Niyov Mamash, from falling into indiscretions like this. That through the Simlo al Shechem, through the tzitzis on the shoulders, the mitzvah tzitzis, a person is saved from Erves Avim, from the nakedness of their fathers, from Arayos. The Tcham, he told his brothers, he wanted his brothers to join in on the action. But they didn't just, they coveted, they didn't see, they didn't look. This is what he said about Yosef HaTzadik, ben poiras ala'ai. In other words, about his grace and beauty is on the eye that sees him. And it says on this project that what is a ben poiras ala'ai? Bishvil tzitzis, being that he was very careful, the mitzvahs of tzitzis, which is eye, which is the eye. Why is tzitzis eye? Because tzitzis showed metzitz v'necharochem, peeking from the cracks. He said, Kodesh Baruch Hu looks into this world, he's like peeping through the cracks, he's looking through the cracks, he's glancing through the cracks. So it's metzitz, peeking, has to do with the eye.
What's metzitz?
Metzitz is peek, to look. So metzitz is the short hini staklos. In the tzitz it says you hold the eye, you make the tzitz a reiseved, and you saw and you will see it. The tzitz has to do with the eye. Because tzitz is similar to the word tzitzis, and that sort of the peeking is done with the eye. So here you have a raya that tzitzis is connected to the concept of eye. There is a zochor ben Peiras, and he was to this to ben Peiras. What is ben Peiras? Shenishmo min nisun shenachash. He was saved from the marriage of the serpent.
Yes.
Mizivuk shel sitracha. From the union of the sitracha, the side of defilement. From sinning with the wife of Potiphar, that it was inciting him, to sin with her, and also he also saved him from receiving the eitzes of all the Rishonim who were surrounding him in Egypt. He had a whole entourage over there. You think that NFL stars have bad entourages? Forget about it. Politicians and everybody, he's the king. Everybody's around him. Wanted to bring him down.
Sure.
And he was zeichet to zivug de kedusha, to marry a kosher woman, and to get the eitzes of Torah, and to be mekayim them. And this is what it says. It's called ben Peiras. What is Peiras? It says Peiras to show zivug. Why? Pru or vu? Pru. It's Peiras. Pru vu. He was zeichet to zivug kedusha by ben Peiras alei ayin, through the tzitzis, through the eye, through the enough eye. And how is so what we're saying is, how is Yosef Zoicha to this status of Ben Peiras, to a zivug with kedusha, and be saved, both, in concept and in actuality, through alei ayin, through the mitzvah of tzitzis. And the reason why the mitzvah of tzitzis saves a person from eitzes rishayim is ki ikar niyuf toloi beinayim. Niyuf has to do with the eyes. Person looks, and he gets funny ideas. Some of them are not so funny. As it is said, it says in Gemara, Shimshon holach achei einov. Shimshon followed his eyes. He looked where he wasn't supposed to look, and that's the reason why the Plishtim afterwards gouged out his eyes. So Rabbanan said, so the Gemara says, why did they gouge out his eye? Why did they blind him? Because he blemished with the eyes. That's why Shimshon said to his father, Ota kachli, about Delilah, take her, it wasn't Delilah, it was the one before her. Take her for me, for my wife. Ki yeshor be'enai, she's good in my eyes, I like her. So you looked. Shavar, you looked. You looked. Shine, you looked. So then he took a wife from the daughters of the Plishtim. So you see that the niyuf, when is a niyuf happens? When is, indiscretion happens? When does some defaulters? When the eyes are roving the land. You should not rove after your heart and after your eyes. When a person doesn't keep his eyes, he sees things he shouldn't see. He comes into bad thoughts. And bad thoughts, bada bing, bada boom, lead him to all kinds of hanky-panky that he should not get there. The shmiras tzitzis, and being careful in tzitzis, ubchinas enayim. The shmiras enayim. It says in tzitzis v'nacharochim that metzitz is a shon tzitzis, that peeking is a language of tzitzis. And peeking is done with the eyes. This is the tzitzis is shmira from niyuf that has to do with the eyes. And that's why shmira ma'etzas anachash, that's why it also guards you from Eitzah of Rishon, which is Niyuf. And it can be, and Mimela, it enables you to get Eitzah from a Tzaddik. Shukulo Zera Emes, which is totally a Zera of absolute truth, which equals Nisuin the Kedusha. We continue, on Sunday. Good Shabbos, everyone.